I'm going to solve this equation by taking square roots. Recall that the properties of equality state what we do to one side of the equation we have to do to the other side of the equation. I'm going to get rid of the square on the r here by taking the square root of this. But since I have what I do to one side of the equation I have to do to the other side, I'll go ahead and take the square root of the other side as well. Don't forget, you have to add a plus and a minus sign on the left side of the square root that's on the right side of the equation there, because we have to take into account that r could have been both positive and negative. The square root is going to get rid of the square on the left side, on the r, and we're just going to have r is equal to plus or minus the square root of negative 24. Now I can simplify the square root of negative 24, and I'm going to do that off to the right side here. So I have the square root of negative 24. Notice I can factor a 4 out of negative 24. So factoring a 4 out of negative 24, I have 4 times a negative 6. And of course, instead of just putting negative 6, I could put 6 times a negative 1 to represent that negative. So I separated everything. All the perfect squares have been factored out on the left inside the radical. And so now I'm ready to take the square root of everything. So the square root of 4 is 2. The square root of 6 is just going to be staying as the square root of 6. It's irrational. And the square root of negative 1, recall that we noted that we would call that I, okay? Or we would have I for that. So now I can rewrite my equation, or the result of my equation, as r is equal to plus or minus 2 square roots of 6i. So I have two possible answers. R could be positive 2 square roots of 6i or negative 2 square roots of 6i.